Throughout the year, British royal family will head off overseas on behalf of the British government to visit various parts of the world, and that is based on where they haven't been recently, what fits with the policy of the British government at the time. Generally, there'll be a couple of these a year. Occasionally, they tie in with charitable endeavours and projects that the royal family are working on. So it's a great thing for a royal photographer. It's always exciting to get off out and about around the world. When it comes to a royal tour, they are very well organised visits, of course. Events are planned down to the finest detail, and occasionally there's a lot of formality. If it is something like a state visit, of course, there'll be all the pomp and the ceremony of a big royal arrival, inspecting guards of honour, ceremony, tradition, culture. These all form important parts of travelling with the British royal family. And you know, there is often more low-key moments, the sort of quieter moments you get on royal tours, which are lovely to photograph. But it's that combination of the big pomp and ceremonial moments and the quieter moments behind the scenes, and they often come together to form the kind of fabric of what is a royal tour. For me, there's a huge amount of preparation that goes into these trips. As a photographer, I'll go through the programme for the trip. I'll work out what different events require, what different photography equipment, and you know, it might be something like a state banquet where you have to wear your dinner suit or something like that. So there's so many different considerations: the weather, footwear. You know, I've been on trips in the past where we've had to climb up into the foothills of the Himalayas. So you know, everything takes a different approach. I've been lucky enough to travel with all members of the British royal family, you know, of course, from Queen Elizabeth. When she did travel, she was this iconic and hugely respected figure around the world, to our new King and Queen. And then, of course, there's now the Prince and Princess of Wales, who've been on some fantastic trips over the last few years, some really special ones. I've done a huge amount of travelling with Prince Harry in the past when he was a working royal, and that's been, you know, incredibly some of the most special moments of my life. I think the key is when you're with the royal family on a trip abroad is be prepared, because anything can happen. I think that's what I love about it. It's a sense of the unknown which makes lovely, candid and colourful pictures. In Borneo, if you look closely, you can see that the lens is quite kind of steamed up, because it was possibly one of the kind of humid environments I've been in with my cameras, but I suppose it was one of the most unusual royal handshakes I've ever photographed before. I think one of my absolutely favourite trips actually was somewhere I always wanted to visit, which is Bhutan, with the then Duke and Duchess of Cambridge. And there was a particular moment when the Duke and Duchess were getting stuck into the national Bhutanese sport of archery. When the Duke and Duchess gave it a go, I was, you know, slightly nervous that there might be a wayward arrow coming my way, but I tucked myself in behind someone else, and it was a lovely set of pictures. I've been lucky enough to travel to so many places with our now King and Queen, and I think, you know, one of my favourite trips with them was India. And you know, it's just the colour and the vibrancy and the energy that you get when you visit India, which is really special. That was in 2013, and there's a particular shot at the Akshardham temple. They're framed by the beauty of this amazing building, and you know, they're looking at each other, and it's such a far cry from moments we get in the UK, and so special to capture these moments. So that was amazing. There's so many royal firsts. I remember Princess Charlotte receiving her first bouquet during an arrival into Germany. She took a big sniff of the bouquet, and it just made a lovely photograph, because it's these kind of candid moments that I suppose move away from the kind of the script which people warm to, and for me as a photographer, they're the ones that I love taking the most. One thing that I will say is they do work incredibly hard on these trips. You know, it can be incredibly challenging to meet so many people and then go to a state banquet in the evening. I've only got admiration for their work ethic. A royal walkabout is an incredibly important part of the royal tour. It's, you know, an opportunity for members of the public around the world to meet members of the royal family, chat with them firsthand, and you know, often you see these huge crowds in the most unlikely places, and it's lovely. You know, it's great to see that and try and convey an element of that to the people back at home, and that's really exciting.
Hey, thanks for watching. Don't miss the Today Show every weekday at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 Pacific on our streaming channel, Today All Day. To watch, head to today.com/allday or click the link right here.